The only thing I think I messed up on is putting these nasturtiums in with the beans. They're looking pretty good and they're very healthy. This is my kale and Swiss chard bed. This plant right here overwintered in place. Look at that baby right there. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them in there because, you know, one Swiss chard seed can actually have 2 or 3 plants. So, oh, and then I got cilantro growing. I actually got that to germinate by seed. And so hopefully I'm gonna have some fresh cilantro. And there are some zinnias right there. Those are the cherry queen zinnias. Another little plant of nasturtiums. And some cosmos. There is one of my black-eyed Susans that I started by seed last year. So I want to see how these plants do. I transplanted out some beans yesterday. I cannot start them in the garden. And these are my Roma tomatoes. This marigold's popped in, looking pretty good. This is an onion that overwintered in place, is now flowering. And look at the little, it's a sweat bee, but still a bee, right? Anyway, I'm gonna let it go ahead and go to seed and see if I can collect some seeds off of it. If not, hopefully they just fall back into the bed. And so the Romas are not doing too shabby. This is the bed I was worrying about flooding out during rains. But we didn't get half the rains that I thought we would. And I got basil. I got basil volunteering everywhere in this garden. So it's like, it's okay if I toss them. A couple more beans. These are the Royal Burgundy. I wanted beans this year, just kind of interplant into the garden beds to feed the gardens, but at the same time I wanted some beans to, you know, obviously cook with and all that. And I wanted to go for a visual appearance. So I have some early serves, which are the green bush beans. And I have some Royal Burgundy. I also have some yellow wax ones, but they did not germinate. Here are my grow box eggplants. They seem to be doing really well. The cover, it's still kind of questionable, but it's looking like it's doing its job for now. I'm just gonna go ahead and, obviously, like I said, use it for the season. But those plants are looking so good. I'm hoping my pole system is gonna be okay for it, because in these grow boxes, it's not like a regular pot. You know, you have that grate down there, so it kind of stops it from going all the way down. But I'll figure out something if I have to. And here is another cherry tomato, because I just can't give up on my cherry tomato plants. And a 5-gallon bucket. And this trellis system is one that you can build as it grows. Really like it. Very easy to put up at the end of the season. In fact, probably getting rid of those cones right there, because I think even if I have to order another 2 packs of these, because you get a lot in those, by the way, in the trellis system right here. Mainly got them last year for peppers, because I also use them right here on my cucumbers. Looks like a little, what is that called? Little baby nursery plaything, but whatever works, right? Anyway, so I'm getting rid of those cones next year, or this at the end of this season. The only thing I think I messed up on is putting these nasturtiums in with the beans. They're looking pretty good, and they're very healthy, but no blooms. That one right there has blooms. That one was planted in a smaller pot after these. And I think what's happening is those beautiful beans right there on this, too much nitrogen. Because I think my marigolds aren't going to bloom either. But we'll see. If anything, I do plan on using salads, so it's probably just a given that maybe I want more of the big leafy blooms. And that's what's left of my seed starting area right there. I've got some more beans that I'm starting, which I don't direct sow mine because the birds take off of the little seedlings, so I'm just gonna do them like this and pop them in. That is that basil from my tomato plant out video that was growing in a pot. I already chopped off top part of it to make it more bushy. There's a daisy plant that's just hanging in there. Haven't got to it. There's my little mint. Well, that's not correct. Let's turn that around. Now it's correct. Anyway, there's my little mint plants that I started from seed. And I do plan on these going into containers because I don't want them to take up the whole garden space. But I do want some mint. And this is what's left of my other seedlings, that starters that I did. So somewhere in here, figure out a spot to put them in. These are the black-eyed Susans that I started from seed last year. First year, as I understood it, they do not bloom. But second year, because I left them in this pot, and they came back just fine on their own. And look at that, we got little blooms everywhere. Got another one in a pot, but it's not as large as this one. It doesn't have blooms on it, so we'll see what that does. And speaking of plants that you just put them in a pot and forget about them, oregano. This was in a long planter last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, and it split. And so I really didn't know what I was doing there, but I went ahead and split them and put them into these two pots. And now I got oregano for days and days, or actually years and years. And here are some more of my cosmos. I've never been able to do them by seed and get them to grow, and they seem to be doing just fine. See, this marigold's got a flower on it. I do believe that that's what's going on. That toad over there is too much nitrogen from the beans, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you just want green leaves. And these are my indeterminate tomatoes. There's some zinnias right there, marigold. That is the basil that was starting to volunteer on the tomato plant out video. Just gonna let it keep growing. I'll thin out the ones I don't want. Also gonna be giving some to my in-laws garden, and basically anybody else that wants basil. But look at my cherry tomatoes, they're already starting to fruit. Makes me happy. And this is that volunteer vine of some sort. Still don't know exactly what it is. If anybody's got a clue out there, please chime in. I'm just gonna let it grow until it's a pest, and then I'll get rid of it if I have to. And something is eating on my marigolds right there. That'll be alright. My zinnias are doing okay. I was gonna pinch them, but they are starting to bud, so I'll pinch it whenever I clip the tops off. Some more cosmos. These are daisies right here in the front of the pot. More cosmos, some more cosmos. I couldn't get rid of my cosmos. So that's my little garden tour, and we'll see how much I'm actually going to measure how much I'm getting out of my garden this year for this small space. So